So I had this thing called a thought. Why are we still talking about Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and J. Cole in 2025? Like, why are we doing this still? More importantly, why has no one else in the mainstream rap world been talked about? I feel like it's been Future, Playboy Cardi, Drake, Kendrick, I guess J. Cole. I don't know what J. Cole's doing now, probably being transphobic somewhere. Why does it feel like the mainstream rap scene, hip-hop scene has been stagnant since 2020? Like, why has no one really come up? Anyone that has came up has slowly came back down. So I had this thought and I was like, ooh, I might have the answer to this. So you're gonna watch this video. So buddy, sit in that chair, get some good food, and let's talk about why mainstream rap right now. If you don't know me, I'm Slicky Campbell. You can see I have a plethora of videos talking about underground rap. You can obviously see that I prefer underground rap more than mainstream. And usually when my favorite underground artists, they go mainstream, which is just people that are usually not signed to a record label. They get signed, they get more production, it becomes more radio-like music. I usually try to find more other underground rap artists. I'm like, hey, go have your time, become a millionaire, do your thing, girl. We have now seen our beautiful king Osama-san. He is now a mainstream artist. Netspent is getting there close. To Hollis is there, so you got to find more shit now. We're in that transitionary period where we're finding new artists. And we've hit some diamonds in the rough. But what I enjoy about underground rap is the abstractness of it, the creativity that is in it, the production. I feel like I relate more to the artists. They are into very more similar stuff. They make references that I can relate to. They're talking to me spiritually, physically, everywhere. The voices. No, but just generally, I can relate to these artists more. Probably in like 2 or 3 years, though, when I turn 30. I don't know. We'll see if that changes. But what I have realized is that the mainstream, whatever y'all are doing over there, that shit has not changed in 5 years. And I'm kind of worried for you all. And I genuinely enjoy artists like Kendrick Lamar. I think he makes very thought-provoking music. To Pimp a Butterfly, one of the best albums of all time. That's honestly not even debatable at this point. But has he not passed his torch yet to someone at this point? Like, I know he can still perform and still make music, obviously, but he's been out since before I was really even listening to any kind of rap. Like, at that time, and then don't even get me started on Drake. Drake pushing 40, still one of the top artists in this game. Kanye West saying the craziest, I can't even say the things he's saying now in his raps. He's gone off rock bottom. There's this place called Rock Bottom, and you don't want to be there. And that's where, I should say, Ye is at. But besides that, I feel like everyone else is just not, there's been no artists that have really risen. I feel like even people like Tu Hollis and Osama, so like Tu Hollis is going more into this like hyper pop kind of sleaze pop revival. That's what he's going into, which is a whole nother video. There's Ian. I guess he's in this middle ground. Like, he's not really a mainstream artist, but he's just TikTok popular and above the underground. You have artists like Osama-san and Netspin. And with mainstream hip-hop, rap, whatever you want to call it, it's just so produced. It's a lot of club hits, and especially now it just feels very above it, so to say, which might seem really weird and it might seem kind of like snobby, but like there's just no substance to it. I could see if there was some substance to it, but like, what has Drake put out that has made you think about something other than like, damn, that's a good beat, damn, the producer really sampled a song on that, that's like an amazing sampling job? Has Drake said anything thought-provoking at all? Anything? That's another video that we could do too. The only really change I've seen in the mainstream like hip hop rap world is like the rise of Playboy Cardi. But Playboy Cardi was pretty big in 2020. Like, he was mainstream in 2020. You have like Ken Carson, Destroy Lonely. I like Ken Carson a little bit more than Destroy Lonely. I think Ken Carson's beat choices fit him better and just stylistically sounds a little better than me than Destroy Lonely. So I've seen the rise of them, but besides that, who can you name off the top that is just killing it? Like, Kendrick Lamar swept the Grammys for any hip hop category. And like, why does this happen? Why is the mainstream just lacking right now with like pushing any new talent to the forefront, like kind of telling Kendrick and Drake like, hey, you can like have your little squabble over there, but like here's the guy that we need to focus. I think when it comes to mainstream hip hop and rap, they want this certain sound. They want that either J. Cole, Kendrick sound, where it's very like, let me show you my lyrical ability to tell you a story, or it's that Drake sound where it's almost just like pop music, where it's like hip hop / pop music, and Drake is like the pop star of the rap hip hop world. I do think the mainstream hip hop world needs to be a little bit more accepting of these newer like ragier sounds, because even like King Carson, Destroy Lonely, they like are leading this rage hip hop movement, and they really haven't broken out of under Playboy Cardi's wing. I feel like under the Opium label, I just don't see a world where Osama Sun is going to be embraced by the mainstream world, or Netspin is going to be embraced by the mainstream world yet. And that makes me think, like, do these rage artists kind of go off into their different sectors and kind of create this new form of mainstream where it streamlines underground artists more, that make this very drum heavy, like I said, ragey production, and they create their own mainstream? Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, Young Thug, like, it seems like all these people are just kind of there at this point. Like, they've locked themselves in. You can even add Travis Scott to that. They're just making like soundtrack movie songs at this point. They're just putting out whatever and seeing if something sticks. It's kind of felt like with Travis's 4x4 single. There's a video I posted about that. I mean, Future's making music with Lisa from Blackpink, so I'm like, he's obviously kind of like trying to do that or whatever. Okay, like, where, like, are they in their own area and we're gonna create this kind of new mainstream to underground pipeline? But then part of me feels like there were so many mainstream artists before. Am I just not hearing them? Have I become in my own echo chamber? Like, I feel like in 2018, 2019, there were so many mainstream artists, but then I think about like X passed away, Juice WRLD passed away, Trippie Redd is doing his thing with like MGK, Lil Uzi Vert is still doing music, he's mainstream, yeah. And then Lil Peep passed away, he was someone that was gonna be mainstream. I'm like, am I forgetting people? Like, there's like the Atlantis Scene, Future, Young Thug's been in jail, there's Playboy Cardi. I mean, ASAP Rocky's really not making music anymore. So it's this weird where like they don't really have anyone to pass the torch to, unless they want to pass it to Netspin, and they're like, this kid, this 18-year-old, I love Netspin, I love the music he makes. I think he makes very interesting, unique music. But it's like, what are we doing here? Like, we need to get some of these people to have some kind of different perspective, because the whole Fiend meme was like, he had to play that like a bunch of times to give any kind of substance. Like, he was just playing TikTok music at his concerts that people paid hundreds. And I will say, this probably won't end anytime soon, because we are, in the United States, are about to be in a recession. So when people are subjected to a recession, they will stay in their jobs, they won't do anything. All you need is cash. And these artists, that's what they're gonna do. They're probably gonna have 5,000 billion tours, they're gonna put out albums, stuff like that, more albums. And it's gonna be a little stagnant, I feel like, for a year or two. But after that, I do feel like we are gonna rush in a lot more artists. It'll be interesting to see if these rage artists from the underground are gonna be kind of lifted into the mainstreams, the one that become like successful, you know, good people, great musicians, or like we still see that like lineage from like Kendrick and Drake, and we see more of those people like with that kind of musical style, like the lyrical stuff. Maybe I'm in my own underground rap bubble, but I feel like more and more people lean towards underground rap now, especially with it becoming more accessible and more prevalent on TikTok. I feel like a lot of people are King Carson fans, and a lot of people are like Destroy Lonely fans, which, you know, has that Osama San to Netspin to like Pretty Fun to all these people that are bubbling up in the underground. I feel like people really enjoy that more than any kind of mainstream rap. Like, I'm trying to genuinely think, besides like Kendrick, Drake, J. Cole, who doesn't really even make music anymore, Travis Scott, Playboy Cardi, Future, like, who is doing this anymore? It was like DaBaby was someone at one point, but he's effectively canceled because he say some shitty fucking thing. I'm trying to, like, I don't know, maybe I'm like just chopped and I just don't really pay attention to mainstream hip hop like that. But like, either everyone's like dead, rest in peace, been jailed, or just kind of fell off. So I don't know if these people just created a monopoly on it or what, but like this, like, there just needs to be a more evolution in the mainstream that kind of aligns with the underground. And that's happened before with people like Lil Uzi Vert, Playboy Cardi, those people, like the people that Lil Yachty that did like the mumble rap, they kind of they kind of came up into the mainstream and kind of created that as like the actual sound where like Travis Scott is flourishing and stuff like that. But I'm just like, enough of the Drake and Kendrick stuff in 2025. It's chopped season if you still engage in that conversation. There's just nothing to do, and it's just like, I don't see anyone else really getting into the mainstream and making the rounds on mainstream media and stuff like that. Maybe that's just not my place. You know, I love listening to my underground rap stuff, and that's all I really need from the hip hop world. But let me know what you all think. Do you feel this at all, that Kendrick and Drake, Travis Scott have just been doing this for like 10 years at this point, 10 to 15 years, and it's like, we need some rejuvenation? Are you fine with it? Let me know in the comments, and see you for another video.